Kobe Bryant, 201.4 career net wins, 5 championships, and the most debated legacy in basketball. The Mamba, 20 seasons, 201.4 combined net wins, 11th all time. His peak came not in the 81-point game or the scoring title season, but in the 2002-2003 season, a year of 30 points and 13.8 net wins alongside Shaq before everything fell apart. The numbers trace a career defined by brilliance, conflict, and a second act nobody gave him credit for building. Thanks for listening to Net Wins. Net Wins can be accessed at netwins.substack.com. Kobe Bryant entered the NBA straight from Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania as the 13th overall pick in the 96 draft, selected by the Charlotte Hornets and immediately traded to the Lakers. He was 17 years old. He became the youngest player ever to start an NBA game at the time and the youngest to win an NBA championship at 20 years old when the Lakers won their first of 3 consecutive titles in 2000. 20 seasons later, he left as one of the most decorated and debated players in the history of the sport. The Net Wins Explorer, which can be accessed at willf123.github.io/NBA-net-wins, traced all of it. So he had another 29.3 net wins in the playoffs, added to the 172.2 net wins regular season for the combined 201.4, or an average of 8.6 per season, and the peak, as mentioned before, of 13.8. Let's talk about the 4 acts. Act one was the Shaq years from 96 to 2004, where he had 72.6 net wins. Kobe's first 8 seasons are inseparable from Shaq. They won 3 consecutive championships, 2000, 2001, 2002, and then dissolved in the most public partnership breakdown the league had seen since the Wilt Russell era. The net wins data captured the arc precisely. His 99-2000 season, 11 net wins, marked the first year he's genuinely elite at age 21, an MVP caliber year under Phil Jackson's triangle offense. The following 3 seasons climbed to 13.8 in 2002-2003, his career peak. That peak season of 30.6.9 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 2.2 steals is the most complete statistical profile of his career, producing more net wins on a better team than any of his later scoring title years. The 2003-2004 season, where he had 9.8 net wins, is where the Shaq era ends numerically before it ended formally. The team chemistry was already broken. O'Neal's weight, effort, and contract demands were creating friction. Kobe publicly criticized. Lakers reached the finals and lost to the Pistons in 5 games, their worst postseason result of the dynasty years. That summer, Shaq was traded to Miami. Once again, thank you for listening to Net Wins, which can be accessed at netwins.substack.com. The second act, The Wilderness, from 2004 through 2008, he had 43 net wins, 4 seasons alone. The most famous of them, the 2005-2006 season, the 35.4 points per game scoring title, including 81 points against the Raptors on January 22nd of 2006, produced 12.5 net wins on a Lakers team that won 45 games, lost in the first round. Here's where the formula diverges most sharply from popular perception. The 81-point game is the most celebrated individual performance in modern NBA history. The 35.4 points per game regular season scoring average, the 9th highest all time, is the number attached to Kobe's cultural peak, but his highest net wins seasons was not the scoring title year. It was 3 years earlier. The formula explains why. 35.4 points per game requires an enormous volume of field goal attempts. Missing those attempts, even at 45% efficiency, Kobe missed 1,647 field goals that year, generating a significant field goal miss penalty that capped the net total ceiling regardless of the point total. The 13.8 net wins peak came at 30 points per game on more balanced production across all box score categories. Elite scoring volume and peak net wins aren't the same thing. The 06-07 season, where he had 10.8 net wins at 31.6 points per game, included what many consider his most famous individual quote, demanding a trade in the summer of 2007 after the Lakers lost in the first round to Phoenix. The trade demand was withdrawn when Andrew Bynum's development and Paul Gasol's arrival changed the calculus. Act number 3 was the second championship era of the years between 2007 and 2011. He had 48.4 net wins. The Gasol trade in February 2008 was one of the most controversial in NBA history. Memphis received Kwame Brown, Javaris Critton, Aaron McKee, Marc Gasol, and 2 picks for a 27-year-old All-Star. Critics call it collusion. The NBA investigated and found no evidence of impropriety. What it produced was a Laker team capable of competing for championships again. Kobe's 2007-2008 season earned him the league's regular season MVP, his first and only. His 2008-2009 season was his second highest ever and came with the first of his 2 second-act championships. The formula's reading of that championship run: 4.3 playoff net wins, his highest single postseason across 23 games that ended with a championship over the Orlando Magic. 2 consecutive finals appearances in 2009-2010, 2 championship rings. The 2009-2010 championship against the Celtics won 7 games, with Kobe posting 10.8 regular season net wins and 4 playoff net wins. His 2010 finals performance, 28.6 points per game, including 23 fourth quarter points in Game 7s, widely cited as the defining clutch performance of his career. The fourth act, the Achilles in the exit, 2011 through 2016, he had 20.6 net wins. The final act is the most poignant in the data. At age 34, his 2012-13 season produced 9.9 net wins, still in the range of a genuine all-star contributor. On April 12th of 2013, he tore his Achilles tendon while driving to the basket, punched the floor, made both free throws, and walked off the court. He missed most of 2013-14, never fully recovered the athleticism that made his first 3 acts possible. The 2014 and 2015-16 seasons produced 1.6 and 1.7 net wins, respectively, honoring the jersey rather than competing for championships, and everyone in the building knew it. On February 3rd of 2016, he announced his retirement, effective at the end of the season. His final game, April 13th, 2016, against the Jazz at Staples Center, produced 60 points on 50 field goal attempts. It was either the most Kobe Bryant thing that ever happened or a perfect farewell, depending on how you view the formula. What the numbers say about the Kobe debate: the analytical debate about Kobe Bryant's been running since the late 2000s. Advanced metrics have consistently been critical. His usage rate is high. His efficiency relative to that usage is below what his volume suggests, and his on-off numbers on championship-caliber teams are frequently negative because any Laker lineup featured multiple quality players. Net wins offers partial answer to that debate at 201.4 combined career net wins, 11th all-time in the database. The formula placed him clearly in a category of an all-time great. He produced 10 or more net wins in 10 separate regular seasons. He produced 12 or more 5 times. His peak is comparable to some of the most elite seasons in the database. But the formula also confirms some of the criticism implicitly. His scoring title season in 2005-2006 ranks 5th in his own career by net wins, behind 4 other seasons where he scored less but contributed more comprehensively. The field goal and missed penalties, the mechanism. Shooting 35 times per game, even at above average efficiency, generates more missed shots than a more balanced production profile, and the formula penalizes that directly. The honest assessment the formula produces: Kobe was a top 15 player in history by any reasonable measure. He was not, on a per-win contributed basis, the best player of his era. That honor belongs by this metric to Shaq and LeBron James, both of whom generated more net wins per season across their primes. What he was is rare to qualify. A player whose will to win and individual brilliance create outcomes that the box score can partially but not fully measure. The 60-point final game is the emblem. 50 field goal attempts, 22 made. The formula sees 28 missed shots and deducts them from his net total. What it can't say is what it meant to 18,997 people in the building, or the generation of players who modeled their games on his footwork. The net wins formula and all written content are original works. All rights are reserved. I appreciate your time.